The EURUSD just barely broke out last week, so in today's video, we're talking about the area to watch this week, including some key levels and potential targets, and also the latest on the DXY. Now, if you guys do want my help with your trading, be sure to click on the link at the top of this video, and that's going to give you 90% off lifetime access to the trading group and also course. So in the trading group, you're going to get daily videos, my help with your trading, exclusive setups, and you're going to also see my trades in real time. So alternatively, click on the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Okay, looking at the EURUSD weekly time frame. So we've talked about these two trend lines quite a bit here. And last week, we did see the market close above this area, but just barely. And by the way, guys, I am back. I did take some time off last week for the US holiday. So some much needed time away from the charts and feeling nice and refreshed. Although I wish that the markets were looking a little bit better here just because the euro is still very sideways. Now, last week did just barely break out from this level depending on how you draw it. And the reason I say that is because if you include these two highs back here, so this one up here, and also this one, again, the weekly time frame, then you can see where the EURUSD just barely closed above this last week. Okay, now this is marginal though. And what I mean by that is this is not very convincing in the sense that if we saw the market close closer toward 1.0865 or even above that, then it would give me a lot more confidence that the euro did break out. But as things stand, you can see where the market is really just trading right around this level. If we go into the daily time frame, you can see that this right back here was the failed breakout that occurred above this level. Okay, so we got the failed breakout back here. We got the rotation lower, even a little retest through this area. And so far, the euro is trading right there at that key level. So you can see this was Friday's close right here. And so far, the market is kind of flirting with potentially closing back below this. So this, in my opinion, is kind of inconclusive as to whether or not the euro actually broke this level. Now, unfortunately, when we go to the DXY, the US dollar index, this really doesn't tell us a whole lot either. And the reason I say that, right, because even though you can see where we're trading back below the bottom of this channel, there is something happening here that makes me think that we could get a US dollar bounce here in the coming days. And furthermore, like I've said recently too, we are just trading within this massive channel here. This explains why we've seen the US dollar and a lot of these currency pairs just going sideways here, at least for the majors. Because for the most part, the US dollar has been very sideways ever since the start of 2023. Okay, now if we look here at the daily time frame, this is what I mean where I say that we could potentially get a bounce or even a rally here from the US dollar in the coming days. So the first thing to understand is that we are trading below the bottom of this channel. Okay, so we can't ignore that because we have talked about this in recent videos. Okay, so this down here was a failed breakdown. We got the close back above, retest as new support. We saw the retest last week, however, that level failed. So this is going to be resistance. Now, here's the thing about this though. If we look back here at this low from late 2023, early 2024, okay, a lot of times, and I talk about this in videos, a lot of times the most accurate trend line, okay, and trend lines, regardless, are always going to be a little bit controversial just because there are multiple ways to draw them. But the most accurate level, especially spanning several months like this, is often drawn from a closing price. And this closing price right here that I have is December 27th. This was the lowest close for the DXY, the lowest daily close for the DXY in the second half of 2023. Okay, and it's also a very prominent daily close here in terms of 2024, just because this kind of marked the low when we started the new year. Now, if we draw a trend line off of these recent lows, what you're going to notice here, okay, is that this level is what served as support back here. Okay, so during this fake out. Now, I'm going to get rid of this just to kind of clean things up a little bit. Okay, so you can see it better. But you can see here that we have this trend line off of the closing price. We've got this low right here, and we've got these lows. Okay, so this area down here is going to be support for the DXY. And you could even make the case too that if you drew this from the low, which I don't prefer, however, if you did that, then you could even make the case that the DXY is bouncing from these recent lows right back here. Okay, but regardless, there is going to be more support below today's levels here for the DXY. Okay, so this is kind of why I'm saying that I'm not fully convinced that the DXY has broken down. Furthermore, if you look here at this price action, right, ever since back here, this has been a series of higher highs and higher lows. Now, yes, we have had a pullback here, which is starting to look a little bit dicey for the US dollar index. However, we don't have a lower low. it's not as if the DXY is broken down below this low back here. If this were to happen, right, then that would look a lot worse here for the DXY. If we were to get a breakdown here, then we would have that lower low. But as of right now, this uptrend is still intact, that has been intact all year. Okay, so in my opinion, the jury is still out here on the DXY. Now, in order for this to turn bullish though, obviously the DXY would have to reclaim areas like this up here around 105.50. That's going to be critical. But when we look back at the euro, this is again why I'm just not convinced here that the euro has in fact broken out. Okay, and if it did break out last week, which again, you can see here that this was very marginal. If it did break out last week, the euro is right back to testing this key level. Now, at the same time, this is not enough for me to act on this just because I don't want to buy a market that has already done this. Okay, I don't want to buy high like this. And at the same time, I'm not going to short this as a fake out just because we don't have enough information here. I would need to see the EURUSD closing down here in this area to really confirm that this is a failed breakout once again, similar to what we got back here. All right, so for me, this is a no-go. I'm going to stand aside, wait to see what we get here over the coming days. But I do think this area right around 1.082 is going to be the one to watch this week. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. Don't forget to join us in VIP, claim your 90% off lifetime access. See the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.